Hola a todos, ¿cómo estáis? Soy Erika. So in today's video, I will be talking to you about el pretérito, which is the simple past in Spanish. In English, we only really have two types of simple pasts. However, in Spanish, there's actually a lot more. So it can kind of seem complicated, but once you learn when to use each type of past tense, it's actually quite easy. So as usual, if you like my videos, please be sure to subscribe. And let's get started with el pretérito. So this will be the first of a three-part series on the past tense. Today we will only talk about regular verbs. I'm going to do a video on what I call yo-yo carcasar verbs, and then we'll go to irregular verbs. And that will be it for el pretérito. All right? So let's get started today with when do we use el pretérito, okay? So, el pretérito. In Spanish, the preterite is used to talk about the beginning and end of a past event, something that happened and finished. So I want you to think of it as like a one-time event. Like, I walked to school. I did it once that day, and that's it. And that's all I'm trying to say. Okay? So let's look at some examples of the preterite in English, and then after I'll compare it to Spanish for use. But right now we just need to understand what it is. So, I walked to school. I walked to school and that was it. I ate my sandwich. I ate it and I was like, that's done. I talked to Carla. I ran the race. So you see, these are all actions I did like at one moment in the past. It's not something that I continuously did, okay? You need to think of it like a one-time thing that day, okay? So walked, ate, talked, ran. Okay, so now let's look at these sentences in Spanish so you can see what the preterite looks like once it's conjugated. Okay, so ahora en español, so I walked to school would be yo caminé a escuela. So here we have, you can see the verb caminar. So to make the yo in the past tense, you make it an e sound. So yo caminé. I ate my sandwich. The verb to eat is comer. So yo comí mi sandwich. I ate my sandwich. Okay? In present tense, it would be yo como, like I eat my sandwich. We change that O for an I with a tilde, with an accent, and we have I ate. Okay? I talked to Carla. Yo hablé con Carla. So again, the O here, it changed to an E with an accent. So yo hablé, I talked. I ran the race. Yo corrí la carrera. I ran the race. Okay? So I'm going to talk to you about how to conjugate all the verbs. But yeah, as you can see, it's the same as in present tense. You just need to conjugate it with the right ending. All right? Okay, so now that we know when we use the preterite, again, it's for a one-time past event, like one action in the past. Let's go on to how to conjugate it. So here I have a chart that shows you all of the endings for the preterite. Okay, so it's really you only need to learn two because ER and IR are exactly the same. Okay, so you only need to learn the endings for the AR and then like ER/IR combined. All right, so let's go start with AR first. We have the verb hablar as our example. So the endings for yo, hablé, so an A. Tú would be haste, so hablaste. Él, ella, o usted habló, so an O. Nosotros hablamos. You can see it's the same as in present tense. Vosotros hablasteis. Ellos, ella, ustedes hablaron. So we have haste, o, hamos, hasteis, aron. Okay? And in English, it would be like I talked, you talked, they talked, we talked, and so on. Okay? So these are the endings for the AR verbs. Now let's go over the endings for the ER and IR. Again, they are exactly the same for regular verbs. So yo would be comí. So I ate. It's yo comí. You can see it's an I with a tilde. Tú comiste. So iste. Él, ella, usted comió. Nosotros comimos. Vosotros comisteis. Ellos, ella, ustedes comieron. Okay? So all of these, it's like I ate, you ate, he, she ate, we ate. So this is just the past tense, okay? It's just like conjugating in the present. The endings just need to change, all right? Okay, then we have the IR, which again is going to be the same as the ER. So we have vivir, which means to live. So yo viví was that E ending. Tú viviste, él, ella, usted vivió. Nosotros vivimos. Vosotros vivisteis. Y ellos, ellas, o ustedes vivieron. Okay, so these are the endings. All right, now I'm going to go into some examples and we'll take a closer look at each, the AR, ER, and IR verbs. Okay, so first AR verbs, again, we have aste, o, amos, astéis, and aron as our verb endings for the past tense. So to start, yo caminé a la escuela. I walked to school. So in the present tense, it would be yo camino, I walk. But to make it past tense, we plug in the e right here, yo caminé, and I have I walked, okay, in the past tense. Tú hablaste con Mario, you talked with Mario. Again, when we're conjugating, you take off the AR and you plug in the appropriate ending, right? So tú hablaste con Mario. Manuel manejó en la carretera. Manejar means to drive. So Manuel drove on the highway. So again, we're plugging in the right ending. Nosotros cantamos juntos ayer. We sang together yesterday. If you didn't have the word yesterday, honestly, you wouldn't be able to tell if it was past or present tense. With the nosotros for AR verbs, it kind of depends on context, okay? So nosotros cantamos juntos ayer. Ana y Juan bailaron a la fiesta. So Ana and Juan danced at the party. So with ellos, the ending is aron. Just plugged it right in. Bailaron. Okay? All right, let's go to ER verbs. So we have, we have y, then we have iste, yo, imos, isteis, vieron. So let's start here. Yo comí tacos ayer. I ate tacos yesterday. Vendieron chocolatines a la tienda. So vender is to sell. So they sold, right? It's in the past tense. Chocolates at the store. Okay, so again, I'm just plugging in the appropriate ending and making it into the past tense. Jimena bebió una cerveza con su amiga. So Jimena drank a beer with her friend. See, I'm just plugging it right in. Okay, and then tú y Juan os rompisteis. So did you and Juan break up? So I'm using the vosotros right here. Just plugged it right into romper, which means to break. Okay? All right, let's go to IR verbs. Again, they're just the same as ER. All right, IR verbs. So we have them here. So Ana Melis escribió el examen. So it's an ella. So we go to the third person, plug it right in. She wrote the exam. Abrí la puerta para salir. Okay, abrir is to open. So if I put in abrir, it's I opened. Okay, it's in the past. Abrí. Rafael y yo decidimos que no queremos ir a la escuela. So decidir is to decide. So it's in the past tense. So Rafael y yo, so we decided not to go to school. And then subiste las escaleras. So subir is to go up. So you went up the stairs. Okay? So here we have the past tense, all right? So now that you know it, let's go into some practice. Again, remember, it's just like conjugating in the present tense. You just need to know the right endings, okay? So, ahora la práctica. So, conjugue las frases siguientes al pretérito. So, change the following or conjugate the following verbs or sentences into the preterite, okay? So, we have Daniela y yo. So, let's do the first one together. So, Daniela y yo would be nosotros. And we have the verb comer. Can you remember what the nosotros is for the ER verbs in the past tense? the ending is imos. So it would be Daniele y yo comimos juntos ayer. Okay? So pause the video here and do the following questions, and then I'm going to go over the answers. All right. Ahora vamos a hacer las respuestas. Entonces, como he dicho, Daniela y yo comimos juntos ayer. So comer is an ER verb. So in the past tense, it's going to be imos. Marcos y Lucas vendieron galletas a la escuela. Marcos and Lucas is ellos. Vender is an ER verb, so the ending has to be ieron. So, vendieron. Julia y tú bebisteis vino. So, Julia and you drank, like you all, vosotros, vino. You can also do the ustedes here as well, which would be Julia y tú bebieron vino. Okay, because remember in Latin America, they tend to use ustedes rather than vosotros. So if you said bebieron here, that's also correct. Okay, Carlota corrió en el parque. So Carlota ran in the park. ER verb, this is how it ends. Usted viajó a Oaxaca por Navidad. You traveled to Oaxaca for Christmas. So viajar, third person, preterite with an O ending. Okay. Yo canté cumpleaños feliz. I sang happy birthday. So cantar is the verb. It's an AR verb. And in the yo, we changed it to A. Okay, so yo canté, I sang. And yeah, that's it. So espero que han aprendido algo. Remember, this is the first video out of 3. And make sure you leave a comment and subscribe. Y nos vemos en el próximo. Adiós.